So we're just going to do a post-run cool down now. Go ahead and step the feet out nice and wide. And you can roughly line up the ankles and the wrists. It's about 3.5 feet. Go ahead and put your hands on your waist. Take a big deep breath in, bend the knees, and then just start to fold forward. And you can come down about halfway. If the hamstrings are really tight, you can just put the tips of the fingers here. If you're open a bit more, you can go ahead and put the hands down onto the mat, and then just straighten up through the legs. And as you exhale, just start to tuck in, so you can bend the elbows, feel the head go down to the ground. Come on over and grab an ankle here. Try and keep those knees straight, keep the hips back. Exhale into any tight bits, and then gently come back to center. Come up to a nice high spine, and then as you exhale, fold down to the other side. Come back to center one more time. Go ahead and bring the feet in a little bit, about hip width distance. And you can put the hands down into the ankles and then just very slowly roll up through the spine. Go. Just go. All right, so we're just going to do a post-run cool down now. So start off with your feet spread really wide. You want to roughly line up the ankles and the wrists. It's about 3.5 feet. And you can do this outside immediately after your run. We'll do a couple of things on the mat afterwards. So if you don't want to come back inside before you do this, it is something that you can still do with your trainers and everything else on. So go ahead and just micro bend the knees a little bit, and that'll take all the pressure off your lower spine. Inhale, send your arms up. Exhale, just back to your waist. And as you inhale again, grow really long through the spine, and then exhale to start to fold forward. If the hamstrings are still screaming from your run and you just want to come up onto the fingertips, that's okay. So just feel the four corners of the feet now, your big toe, your little toe, and your heel. And then bring the hands down if the hamstrings are a bit more open. And if you feel really open, you can take the little finger back just to where the big toe is and start to bend the elbows. And that'll take your head down to the ground. Now you really engage the thighs, and that picks up the kneecaps, and that'll release your hamstrings. So breathe into this. Exhale, see if you can tuck in just a little bit more. And then as you inhale again, come up with nice straight arms and a flat back. Come on over to one side, grab the ankle, and tuck on in towards that leg. You should feel this in the side body now, as well as the hamstring. Pick up the kneecaps, engage the thighs. You come back to center, come up onto a flat back. Exhale, come to the other side. Just tell everything to release. Good, and come back to center. Bend the knees and come all the way back up. You can wiggle the feet in now, and then just go ahead and step to the front of your mat. So we'll go ahead and step one leg back, and you can pop the knee down, or you can leave it up. And you want to check and see if you can get about a 90-degree angle with your front foot. So go ahead and adjust your legs and send that heel, your back heel, towards the back of the mat. Go ahead and frame the foot, and now really engage the thighs. And you can leave your outer hand down and just start to lift up through the chest. Inhale, exhale, back to center. We'll do it one more time. Inhaling up, exhale back to center. This time we're going to inhale, and we're going to hold it. And become really aware of that back leg now. Make sure the thighs engaged. Good, come back to center. We're going to pick up the front body and send that leg back into a down dog. Go ahead and paddle it out now. Just release everything. Send the hips back really high. Look out past your hands and send your other leg in. Again, if you want to put the knee down, that's fine. Go ahead, or you can leave it up. So check your alignment on your outer arm. Just make sure the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder are in a nice line. And inhale, reaching up. Exhale, come back. Inhale, reach up again. Exhale, back to center. And last time, we're going to hold it. Good. Frame the foot. Again, pick up the body and send your leg back into a down dog. And go ahead and paddle that dog out. You can say yes and no with the head. Send the shoulder blades down the back. And then step your 2 feet in so that you can stand pretty evenly on your 2 hands and your 2 feet. Go ahead and send those hips back, and then take your outer hand, bend your opposite knee, and go ahead and stand on that hand. And that's just going to release the side body and give your quads a bit of a stretch. And then bring it back to center. Same thing on the other side. And feel free to repeat this as many times as you need to. Good, go ahead and release that. And now bend one leg, and we're just going to circle the weight. So we're going to feel the 4 corners of the foot on the leg that's straight. Just sending the weight around in a couple of hip circles now. And that should release the calf muscle. Really important for the Achilles here in the back of the calf. Go ahead and change sides. Big toe, your little toe, both sides of the heel. Just grind them into the mat now. And you can go back the other direction. Good, and then again, if you want to paddle the feet out, send the hips up really high, and then go ahead and walk the hands in, and you can pop both knees, and then cross at the ankles, and if you're outside and it's wet and you want to stop here, that's fine. But if you're inside and you want to get a bit more of a stretch, we're just going to work on the hips a little bit. So you can relax the feet, sit up nice and tall. Inhale your 2 arms up, engage that core, and now start to come forward. Put the hands wherever they want to go. So they might be on the mat, they could be on the ankles or the shins. Drive the feet up, so bring the toes to the nose, and then just release. So bend the elbows, and that'll bring your head towards your feet. And you want to keep your back as nice and long as possible here. This is so good for the hamstrings. Inhale, sitting up. And again, you can repeat that as many times as you want. 1, 3, and 5 are usually the magic numbers. Now go ahead and roll on down. And your feet are out just about a foot in front of you, and they're roughly hip width distance, and your arms are just at your sides. Go ahead and cross one leg over the other, so the ankle should be hanging off. And don't put any weight on the knee, so you want to come just above the knee. I'm going to do a couple of ankle circles here. And then when I inhale again, I'm going to lift up my outside leg. And you can go ahead and grab the thigh, interlace the fingers, and just pulse it now. And that's really going to work the outer hip. Do this for 4 or 5 breaths, and then go ahead and change sides. So bring everything back to center, and then cross that other leg over. Inhale, bring it up. Pulse that a couple of times. You should really feel that hip start to open up. Good. And gently bring it back to center. Cross it over. Pulling up here. And then come over onto your side for the last thing. And we're just going to do this to focus on the TFL for a second because it can get so tight. So you want to have your legs out pretty straight. Come over here onto the elbow. You can come down a bit if you need to, or if you want a bit more stability, you can come up. And you're just going to lift that leg up 12 to 18 inches or so, just a couple of times. You want to do 2 or 3 reps of about 5 or 10. You should really start to feel it here, and then that TFL that goes down to the knee. And then you engage the core, and you can bring it forward, and then back, forward, and then back. Same thing, you want to do a couple reps of 5 or 10, and then just go ahead and we'll switch sides. And that just keeps everything from tightening up. And check the legs and make sure they're out nice and straight. And then forward, back, forward, back. And then when you're done, enjoy the rest of your day.